What up, YouTube Alayaks? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast. Spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's our orange Brood War Protoss player, Radish. You heard me correctly, this is the Brood War version of the Protoss, and Radish, my guy, I love the name, going up against his opponent, spawning on the top right-hand side of the map, it's our green, kind of teal-green StarCraft 2 Terran player, Apocalypsis. And Apocalypsis, my guy, what are you doing? What do we have? We have what is going to be a proxy barracks play coming out of the StarCraft 2 player. I love that we haven't had a proxy play on my channel in a minute, and Radish coming in with the scout. We'll see that there's nothing here. He must be having a heart attack already because there's nothing in the main base. We have one supply depot. We don't have an expansion in the natural. That tells Radish one thing, and that there are some proxy structures on the field somewhere. He just has to find them, but at the same time, it looks like he's still kind of tempted to go for the expansion. That is ballsy. Now, if you're not familiar with this mod, this is the SC Evo Complete mod, which puts together the StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 races into one game. It is so sick. I highly recommend you guys check it out when you get the chance, but this is starting to freak me out. Radish, you have to do something, build more like production or something. I mean, we have one more gateway on the way, but I think he's floating money to go for the expansion. That's not the move. To be fair, I don't know what leagues these guys are in, but their average APMs are pretty high, definitely higher than mine. This probe scouting around, I think at this point, kind of looking for some hidden structures, but right now we have what is going to be the expansion, the Nexus coming down, but right when the Marines and the SCVs decide to show up, I guarantee these SCVs are going to build a bunker, and here we go. We have one bunker already. This Zealot will easily get kited by these Marines, but we do have the Dragoon on the way. Will the cancel get forced on this Nexus is the question, and I gotta say it's gonna be canceled. There's no way this isn't canceled, right? We have, what, 5 Marines, a bunker almost finished. Come on, get the cancel on this Nexus. Radish, I'm begging you, if you don't cancel this, I'm going to cry. I'm literally going to cry. Oh, no. The Nexus will get taken out. I think no cancel. Okay, the cancel has been thrown down on that Nexus. We're all good. Alayaks will not be crying today. At least not for the time being, unless something else outrageous happens. We'll find out shortly, but this is so many Marines. How many Marines do we have on the field? 12 Marines on the field. The worker supply is in favor for our Protoss player, but that's because he's not proxying. Looks like this bunker was salvaged, so great play. Great opener by Apocalypsis, able to shut down what is the expansion for his opponent, but just as I said, great play, losing a couple Marines to that rally point on those bunkers. But this is still so many Marines, and I don't know if this is enough. This probe really wants to get the expansion, though. That is hilarious. With these Dragoons, I think they may be able to kite most of this army away and maybe buy some time for the Protoss player, and that's exactly what Radish is doing. I think Radish, realizing that there's likely nothing back home for his opponent, deciding to go for the counterattack. Do we have anything back home to defend against these Marines? These Marines actually have no idea what they want to do. Oh, this is a great reaction by Radish, though, because there's literally nothing back home. We have what is going to be the 3 barracks getting ready to land. I think 4, actually. Oh man, Radish, just run home. Not run home. Run to the enemy base. Run to the home of your opponent. Don't run back. At this point, you kind of committed, but you know what? Actually, these Dragoons saved, so I'm not that mad, but I kind of wanted to see the full commit to that counterattack, because he could have taken out a lot of workers with those 2 Dragoons, and then I think come out ahead. The Nexus finally going down. Keep in mind, we did have the cancel on that previous one, so that was only 100 minerals rather than the 400 minerals that Radish would have lost. Looks like we have a tech lab coming down for this barracks, so I think our StarCraft 2 Terran player will start teching up. This is a factory coming down as well. And what is this? Is this also, where is it? Here it is, the command center. Yeah, I saw it on the production tab. So we also have the command center coming down for Apocalypsis, which should finish up, actually before the Nexus for Radish. So taking a look at what we have on the field so far, 18 army supply for our orange Protoss player, 10 army supply for our greenish, tealish Terran player. Worker supply, though, 22 to 19 in favor for our orange Protoss players. So this is still anybody's game. That was a good attempt at some cheese, but Radish able to hold it with the 2 Dragoons. How many kills do each of these Dragoons have? 4 kills on this one, 2 kills on this one, so 6 Marines did go down, or at least a few Marines and workers go down. So 1 worker killed for each player, actually. So it looks like 5 Marines went down and 1 SCV went down. This command center will be landing just around the time that this Nexus finished up. So we are looking to what appears to be a transition from a cheesy game to a macro game. I always love it when that happens. It's like a buffet. We get everything. We have the cheese, we have the macro, we have our dinner, and then we will have the dessert at the conclusion of this game. We'll see how this game goes, man. And you guys, if my voice sounds a little bit different, that's because I'm casting in the attic of a garage. I'm out of town for 2 months. I almost said 2 weeks. I'm out of town for 2 months. So I have like a portable kind of recording station. I have this mic that's not my main mic, and I'm casting on a mini gaming PC, which I did mention in one of my previous casts, excuse me. So I'm actually really impressed with how this mini gaming PC is holding up, man. And we have, oh, I love this, we have what's going to be a Reaver drop. So the Reavers, they hold scarabs, and the scarabs are basically like deployable grenades, is, you know, how I would describe them. So we'll see. The shuttle flying towards what I want to say is going to be the main mineral line for the Terran player. There's no missile turret, so the shuttle will be able to fly around. We do have the Marines, though. I think Radish is trying to figure out what he should be doing, and there we go. One of the scarabs does get deployed, taking out, I think, 1 or 2 Marines, and where's it now? Here it is. And a lot of Dragoons. What's the army supply at? 40 army supply to 22 in favor of our orange Protoss player. Worker supply virtually even, 35 workers to 32, a slight lead for Radish. And now we have what is a little dance between the Marines and the shuttle. I love this. So Apocalypsis knows exactly what Radish is trying to do, and Radish is trying to destroy a bunch of workers with this Reaver. The first missile turret going down. Do we have a missile turret in the main mineral line? No, we don't. And oh, that was a big hit on those Marines by this Reaver. 4 kills on this Reaver. I would go ahead and just pick this Reaver up and throw it down at the back of the mineral line. I want to see workers die, man. Call me evil, bro. We're casting some StarCraft 2. We have to see some drama. We got to see something go on. To be fair, there was a lot of drama in the beginning of this game. Looks like the shuttle coming back home, deciding that the Reaver had enough. A scan thrown down, seeing the majority of the army composition for the orange Protoss players. So Apocalypsis knows almost exactly what Radish is up to, and Radish going for the Dragoons. And what else would you do if you're playing as a Brood War Protoss? I mean, the Dragoons were robbed from us in StarCraft 2. Yes, I'm a dirty Protoss player, but man, as cool as Blink Stalkers are, I can't say that Blink Stalkers are bad. But every time I use Stalkers, they fall apart like paper mache. You look at them funny and they die. I swear. So lots of Dragoons. It looks like they're kind of preparing for a drop, but there is no drop coming. It looks like Apocalypsis is happy, turtling up. We do have the medevacs, though. I don't know if there is actually going to be a drop. We'll see here shortly. Or are these medevacs just ready to push out? I don't know if Apocalypsis is going to go for like a 2-base all-in at this point. I don't think that would be ideal. But we do have actually what is going to be a drop. So Radish deciding to check for that drop just a little bit too early. We'll see where these medevacs decide to go based on their trajectory. Looks like they may go to the 3rd base or drop in the corner of the main base. At the same time, we have what is going to be Radish moving out with his army. Army supply, slight lead for our orange Brood War Protoss player. 68 army supply to 57, now 76 army supply. So my biggest issue with playing the Brood War Protoss is not so much an issue, it's just like a growing pain, I would say, is the fact that there's no chrono boost and there's no warp gate. So it plays a lot more like a weird mix between StarCraft 2 Protoss and like Terran is what I would call the Brood War Protoss. Here we go. We have a drop in the main base. It looks like the Dragoons running back home to defend against this, but with the mobility of these medevacs, a lot of these Marines will likely go home safe. This Reaver coming home just a little bit too late. Not too much lost for our Protoss player, though. No workers were killed in that engagement. Looks like just the robotics bay was killed and maybe a few other structures like a pylon, but really nothing too crazy, to be honest. And Apocalypsis deciding, hey, look, I'm happy with that engagement, running back. Both players honestly playing pretty conservatively, with the exception of Apocalypsis in the beginning, and same with Radish. Throwing down that expansion in the face of a proxy was pretty ballsy. Gotta give it to him. But now we have another turtling play coming out from our teal/green Terran player. I can't tell. Let me know in the comments below what color you think this is. It looks green to me right here, but then in like the UI down here where it says his name, it's like straight up teal. And I promise I'm not colorblind. At least I don't think I am. And now here we go, a pretty big push coming towards the green side of the map, the green/teal side of the map. Army supply 110 to 85. What upgrades do we have? We have Zealot legs, and I think we have shuttle speed, and we have Dragoon range, but no attack or defense upgrades for the Protoss player. We have one attack upgrade, infantry attack upgrade for the Terran player, and combat shields, concussive shells, and stim pack as well. Big engagement at the third base location. We'll see both players really trying to keep most of their units alive. The Reaver on the back of this, we'll see the damage from this Reaver could really turn things around for the Protoss player. I think Apocalypsis realizes that he's trying to run away from this Reaver. The Reaver doing some good damage before the tanks take it out. This is looking like a really scary army, though, but the Terran bio is so strong with the medevac support. This is so many Dragoons, I don't know. I think this is coming out in favor for our green Terran player. So many Dragoons going down. That's a Dragoon graveyard. And now taking a look at the resources lost, 7,200 resources lost to 2,500, a big deficit for Radish. And now the counterattack. This is exactly what you want to be doing in this situation. If you take out the majority of your opponent's army and you are feeling healthy, man, just go ahead for the counterattack, because you absolutely know you're ahead. Taking a look at the army supply, 86 army supply to 39 army supply in favor for our StarCraft 2 Terran player. Worker supply is also in favor for Apocalypsis. Did any workers get killed this game? Hardly any workers killed this game by either player. Base number 4 will possibly go down. These Dragoons trying to do something, but ultimately running back home. Looks like Radish complacent, deciding, okay, you know what, base number 4 will go down. I'm better off defending. Storm is being researched, but it's not quite done. 1-1 is just now finished for the Protoss player. So weapon and armor upgrades is even for both of these players. Taking a look at the APM, both APMs are crazy. I mean, the average APM is almost 200 more for the teal Protoss player, teal/green Protoss player, but it's really like not that crazy, I guess. I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy difference, but what I want to say is the APM for our orange Protoss player is also pretty solid. Okay. The tanks sieging forward, a lot of them going down, but unfortunately not enough. It looks like Radish leaving the game with no GG, giving the victory to Apocalypsis. What a crazy cool matchup. This was a short one though, so stay tuned. We're gonna have one more game to cover, and that will be it. So I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, you guys, welcome to game number 2. This will be a different set of players, but if you're a subscriber of my channel or a returning viewer, you will recognize them. I've done casts featuring both of these guys before. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, once again, that teal/green color. It's our Brood War Terran player, Terrarn. I promise that was not planned. Go ahead, you know what? Go ahead and leave your conspiracy theory comments down below. I'd love to see it. Going up against his opponent, spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's none other than our yellow Brood War Protoss player, I've done so many casts featuring this guy on my channel. He's such a good player. He is a Grandmaster level player. I believe his main is Protoss, StarCraft 2 Protoss. So this game will likely be a good one. This SCV coming in to scout and see what's going on. Terrarn briefly losing track of it, but I think it's because he was trying to keep these SCVs alive. This one almost dead, but no SCVs did go down, so no SCVs were harmed at this point. This Marine running just a little too far and giving the escape path for this probe, so this probe will be able to run home safely. This Marine, he's like, please don't fire me. It's my first time on the job. I tried. You saw me running after it, man. So it's looking to be a macro game as opposed to a cheesy game like we saw in the last one. Both players are expanding. I believe this Nexus is way ahead though. So the Nexus for you will be finishing up relatively shortly. A Dragoon coming out from this gateway. So one thing I also want to mention, if you're not familiar with this mod, and you probably are at this point, is the Cybernetics Core has literally only this upgrade, this range upgrade for the Dragoon and nothing else. Obviously, there's no warp gates in Brood War. Actually gets canceled. Oh, okay, interesting. So, you deciding to forego the range upgrade for the Dragoon and throwing down a Stargate instead. So, are we going to see, like a carrier rush? Are we going to see some capital ships coming out from this Protoss player, or maybe we'll see some scouts? Scouts are a really cool unit. I feel like we haven't seen them enough on my channel with this mod just yet. They are such a cool unit. They're one of my favorites, and I feel like I've said that about every single Brood War unit since this mod came out, but man, it's just such a cool mod. It adds so much freshness. Obviously, they're not technically new. Oh, this Dragoon running a little too far forward and taking a lot of damage, losing all its shields, so effectively losing half of its HP. These Marines were almost like, oh, cool, free kill, but no. Unfortunately for them, the Dragoon did run away. We have a third base coming down as well for you, and here we go. We have the scout coming out from this Stargate, so the scouts will be coming out shortly for our yellow Protoss player. And there's really not a lot of anti-air, so I kind of like that. I mean, the Marines are really good anti-air, but as far as I know, we only have one barracks. So, oh wow, okay, Terrarn going for the full mech play. If Goliaths were out, that wouldn't be so bad, but there's no Goliaths. We do have Stimpack on the way, so that might help going against the scouts, but until Terrarn sees this, he may not realize what's happening. Where is that scout anyway? Okay, it's just now finishing up, so the scout will be finished. Where's the scout going to go is the question. We do have 3 Dragoons chilling at the front door of the natural base for the Terran player. But these Dragoons running away, I love the movement on these Dragoons as well. You making sure that the damaged Dragoons are farthest away from this engagement and kiting these Marines and tank. Oh wow, this is awesome. So a few Marines going down, 2 Marines actually getting killed, and on the mini-map we see what is the scout actually looks like running back to help out these Dragoons. At this point, Terrarn may decide to run back home. That was a really good engagement by you, taking out so many of Terrarn's units. Terrarn did have a good army composition, but allowing his units to get kited and losing a lot of them. I think taking out 2 or 3 Dragoons, but this scout with the 2 kills already, this Dragoon with the 1 kill, and this one with the 1 kill. Yeah, so the hero units did go down, but a lot of these Terran units did go down as well. So this was definitely worth it for you, but you still has to be careful not to overextend himself. Army supply still relatively even. 12 army supply for you to 8 for Terrarn, and worker supply is basically even, 40 to 40. Now it's actually even. Now 42 technically in favor of Terrarn, but still. So Terrarn doing a good job at keeping himself safe, all things considered. These tanks running back. Do we have siege mode? Siege mode is just about to be finished from this machine shop here. Okay, looks like Terrarn realizing, okay, there's scouts on the field. I need something that shoots up. And you know what shoots up? Marines, the S tier unit. What was that? What just died? It looks like an attempted push with some Dragoons. The Dragoons did go down to what I think were the siege tanks. This siege tank with the 3 kills, actually. Army supply 13 to 10. Slight lead for you. Taking a look at what he's got back home, we have the scout. We have, oh, okay, an attempt with the vulture, an attempted run by with the vulture, but literally nothing killed except for 1 worker at some point, which I don't even know if it was the vulture that did it. Now, what do we have? We have what is going to be +1 sky attack upgrades coming out. We have, oh, so many gateways as well. So I think this is going to be like a Dragoon / Scout mix. I love that. We haven't seen that army composition yet on my channel featuring this mod. This is super cool. We also have what are going to be the missile turrets kind of at the front line. What I would also do, okay, Terrarn already heard me from the future. It's the missile turret in the back of the mineral line as well that you really need if you're getting harassed by flying units. I would love to see that in the main base as well, or maybe even kind of on the edge right here, because this would be a really vulnerable position for Terrarn if you decides to come in with those scouts. You saying I missed the chrono boost, and yeah, I understand why. You have so many units coming out from these gateways. You know what I miss more, you? I miss the gateway, the warp gate, excuse me. We have gateways. I miss the warp gate, bro. The warp gate is just so, you don't realize how awesome it is until you don't have it and you play the Brood War Protoss. I mean, Brood War Protoss is great too because you have the Dragoons, but man, it's so weird playing Brood War Protoss after playing StarCraft 2 for like over a decade. You're like, okay, no warp gate. I guess I'm playing a slow build. Here we go. Here we go. We also have what is the attack on this side of the map, and this is exactly what I was saying. This is a vulnerable position for Terrarn, but with these Marines, actually, you know what? These scouts doing a ton of damage to the Marines. I didn't realize that. Usually I'm used to seeing Marines and being like, anything in the sky is shut down. Marines are just so good against any air unit that the Protoss has, with the exception of Oracles in the early game. But so many Marines killed. I mean, this scout running home alone, the sole survivor, but with the 7 kills. Another scout coming to reinforce this. What do we have coming up for the Protoss player as well? We have what is going to be +2 sky attack upgrades. Do we have any sort of anti-air besides Marines? Maybe Goliaths, man. Build some Goliaths. We have another factory being built, which is interesting. More siege tanks coming up as well, which isn't necessarily a bad choice considering, where is it? We have the ground Protoss army. This isn't huge. Army supply, though, is way in favor for you. 65 army supply to 35. Way in favor for this Protoss player. Worker supply also in favor. 76 to 66. And that is because he did have that earlier third base, but Terrarn with his third base as well. More barracks on the way. So I expect we're going to see a lot more macro coming out from this teal/green Protoss player, or sorry, Terran player. The Protoss, though, I said Protoss because I was looking at the yellow expansion right here. So we have base number 5 coming down for our Grandmaster Protoss player, even though, you know, it's hard to say Grandmaster when you're playing non-vanilla, but his main is Protoss as far as I know. You leave a comment down below what your main is. I swear it's Protoss. More scouts flying towards towards this vulnerable position, and just as I said it, Terrarn hearing me once again from the future. My voice from the future has reached Terrarn, deciding to build this missile turret on this cliff. So there's only one. The scouts could easily fly around it, but I suspect Terrarn's probably maybe going to try and build some more. Do we have a missile turret in the main mineral line? I guess nothing's really happened in the main mineral line, so Terrarn's like, hey, look, I'm not going to waste 75 minerals to build a missile turret behind a mineral line that hasn't been attacked once, but I feel like it's usually good practice. I love this, though. Missile turrets in the middle of the map, actually forcing U's army back. These siege tanks are not sieged up, but the siege tank only really does splash damage, and that's it when it's sieged up. So it does the same damage as far as I know when it's not sieged up. It's just minus splash damage. But this is a really good bio army, actually forcing the retreat on the yellow Protoss army. These scouts are still chilling at home. Army supply is still in favor for you, but a lot of this army supply are these scouts. We do have Goliaths on the field as well, and for a second I forgot that we were casting Brood War versus Brood War. I was like, okay, one is a StarCraft 2 version of the race, right? No, just kidding. They're both Brood War. So, I mean, that was a really good engagement for Terrarn. I'm just really concerned about that army supply. 86 army supply to 39, now 44. And to be fair, I think Terrarn was rolling random, and I don't really know what his experience is with the Brood War races. So going up against a Grandmaster player, man, I mean, come on, like, gotta give him some respect. He's still in this game for sure, but that army supply is getting a little scary. Oh, I love this. The anti-air missiles going against that barracks, able to take that barracks out. That was some really good control by our yellow Protoss player. What else do we have? We have +3 sky attack upgrades on the way, +2 ground attack upgrades on the way for the Protoss player as well. Do we have attack upgrades? Yes, we do. So we have both 1-1 infantry upgrades and 1-1 machine upgrades for the teal Terran player. I almost said yellow Terran player. But we do have the engagement in the middle, but these tanks left alone, and the scouts having free range on the siege tanks. This is such a big pickup for our yellow Protoss player. The zealots coming in to engage the bio army, and now I think this is coming out ahead for our yellow Protoss player. Oh, that was a huge pickup, and now look at this, 111 army supply to 26 army supply. What can our green/teal Terran player do in this situation? I don't know if you realizes just how far ahead he is. He wants to get his army consolidated before he pushes out, which fair enough, man. You never know, but you got such a big lead on this Terran player at this point. That engagement was basically an end game engagement, man. That was a game-ending one for sure. The siege tank going down, the Marines going down, base number 3 in serious danger. The SCVs getting pulled, 19 SCVs, now 22 SCVs killed in this engagement, and counting. Terrarn throwing out the GG. You throwing out the GG, coming out victorious in this game. What a fun one. 2 shorter games for you guys today, just because I feel like most of my games are longer. So we decided to go with the shorter games. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.